Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a certification that is absolutely blowing up in the AI world, the Certified AI Governance Professional, or AIGP. If you're thinking about your next career move in AI, you are gonna want to pay close attention to this. Let's just pause on this for a second, because this one sentence really nails the massive shift we're seeing. The whole industry has moved on from that early, kind of Wild West phase of just building cool AI. Now, the big, critical question every single company is wrestling with is, okay, how do we make sure this stuff is safe, that it's compliant, and that people can actually trust it? And this demand, this absolute need for governed AI, has opened up what we call a governance gap. There's this huge shortage of professionals who know how to connect the dots between AI's amazing potential and its responsible real-world use. And to fill that gap, a brand new credential has stepped into the spotlight. So let's unpack it. What exactly is the AIGP? Who's it really for? And maybe most importantly, what does it prove you can actually go out and do? The AIGP is the International Association of Privacy Professionals' big answer to that governance gap. And look, this isn't about memorizing theories. This is a credential that validates your ability to operationalize AI governance. We're talking everything from drafting the policies all the way through to monitoring the systems once they're live. So you might be wondering, is this for me? Well, it's not just for the lawyers or the hardcore data scientists. It's actually designed for a really wide range of roles. If your job touches AI policy, if you're involved in risk, or if you're on a product team building this stuff, the AIGP gives you that solid framework to guide your work. And frankly, prove you know what you're talking about. This is so key. For all those different roles to actually work together effectively, they have to speak the same language. The AIGP creates that common ground, that standardized vocabulary, so that the tech teams, the legal folks, and the business leaders can finally have clear, productive conversations about how to manage AI risk. Okay, so let's shift gears and look at the exam itself, because the way it's structured really gives you a blueprint for how to do this governance work in the real world. It's all built around 4 key areas, or domains. Now, check out this breakdown. What's really telling here is the weighting. See how domains 3 and 4, development and deployment, make up more than half the exam? That tells you everything you need to know. This certification is all about practical, hands-on, operational skills. Right, so domain 1. This is where you lay the foundation. It covers all the essential building blocks, from getting everyone to agree on what trustworthy AI even means, to setting up the right roles and responsibilities in your organization. Then you get to domain 2, which is all about connecting those foundations to the outside world. This is where you learn to take big, important things like the EU's Landmark AI Act or the super influential NIST's AI risk management framework from the US and translate them into actual, tangible controls your company needs to implement. Okay, now we're moving into the build phase. Domain 3 dives deep into the entire development process. We're talking about everything from making sure your data is sourced responsibly to proper model testing and documentation, like creating model cards, which are basically like nutrition labels for AI. And finally, Domain 4. This covers what happens after you hit the launch button, because the job is not done. How do you monitor for things like performance drift or emerging bias? What does real human oversight look like in practice? And how do you handle the risk when you're using an AI tool from another company? It's all about keeping AI safe out in the wild. So what's the magic number you're aiming for? It's 300. The exam itself has 100 multiple choice questions, but your final result is a scaled score between 100 and 500. You need to hit that 300 mark to pass. All right, so you get what the AIGP is, you know what's on the exam, but how do you actually get it done? Let's walk through a super practical game plan to get you certified. For busy professionals, a structured plan is a lifesaver. An 8-week timeline like this works really well. If you can carve out about 6 to 8 hours a week and just focus on one domain at a time, you can get through all the material and be ready for exam day without totally burning yourself out. Okay, let's talk money. At first glance, you might look at this and think the non-member path is cheaper. But hang on, look closer at that little note at the bottom. The IIAP membership actually includes your maintenance fee every 2 years, which non-members have to pay separately. So if you're in this for the long haul, becoming a member can actually save you money. All right, let's bring this all home and ask the big question, the one that really matters. What's the career payoff here? Is this whole thing actually worth your time and money? The return on investment is, well, pretty clear. Getting your AIGP sends a huge signal to employers that you have the exact skills they're desperate for right now. It shows you're fluent in the big frameworks like NIST and ISO that companies are scrambling to adopt. It basically puts you right in the running for those high-demand, high-impact AI governance roles. But to get that sweet ROI, you gotta pass the exam first. So here are a few common pitfalls to avoid. The big thing to remember is that this exam and the job itself isn't about abstract, high-level theory. It's about how you operationalize it. So don't just memorize the laws, really understand the different duties of a provider versus a deployer. It is all about putting governance into practice. So here's the bottom line. AI is here. It is reshaping every single industry. The question isn't if we need AI governance anymore. The question is who is going to do it. The need for leaders in this space is happening right now, and it's growing every day. This certification is a clear path to becoming one of them. The only question left is, are you ready to be one of them?